We all have to dance.
Ooh, do the Trump dance.
The what?
The what?
The Trump dance.
The dance?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do the 40s mom dance.
Welcome to Real Chat, the podcast where Annie and Chad talk about real shit loosely related to the real estate industry.
And I still giggle at that.
Raving fans.
So excited this week on this episode of Real Chat. We have a guest with us.
We do.
Yeah. Introduce our guest, Annie.
This is the amazing Samara Mitchell.
Aw, hello.
Tell us about yourself, Samara.
Oh, goodness. I was born... No, I'm just joking.
It was a
Born on the wagon of a traveling show. Mama used to dance for the money they'd throw. Sorry.
Let's see. I've been working with you two for well over a year now, and I survived, so that's wonderful.
best year of her life, I thought.
So rude.
Actually, it's been amazing.
Good.
Yeah. Let's see.
What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to know?
Well, personally, there's like nothing more real to me when you talk about homelessness.
Wow.
I jumped ahead in my head. That made sense. Don't question it. There's nothing more real when you talk about houses or real estate than homelessness. It's a sad, sad problem. Samara solves that problem for some people, and more specifically, cats.
It's true.
It
Don't
is
you?
true. I do. Yes.
Tell us.
Let's see. 3 years ago, I started a rescue with a friend of mine, Kelly Mano. And it took a lot of negotiation. It was like right when I started in real estate and realized I definitely had a career, because if I could talk her into doing this, I could do anything. Anybody will buy a home for me.
Right.
And yeah, we started Smelly Cat Rescue. We've been doing that now for 3 years. And we've saved well over 600 cats and kittens in the community.
That's crazy. 600 cats in 3 years.
And there's a story behind it, how you started this. Mm-hmm. I know I've heard it before, but tell us.
I didn't realize there was that many homeless cats in the world.
Oh, wow.
Well, on average in the U.S., there's close to like 3,000 that get displaced every day. Yeah, I could tell you all kinds of fun stuff about that.
And I know you could tell us so much, because why is it that cats are so disposable?
I think people think that they can just survive on their own outside, because there are some cats that live outside, but not all of them have the right instincts and are wild, and they actually are pretty easy prey for some of the wildlife. So a safe cat is an inside cat. That's what I always say. Yeah.
So have you heard the
lot of
story
cats.
of how she started this?
I have not.
All right.
Yeah, so I had started doing bottle feeding during COVID. I know that sounds a little crazy, but
Bottle feeding cats?
no, I actually had wildlife. So I was helping a wildlife rehabilitator. I brought home a box of skunks. 2 baby skunks.
That explains a lot.
Quickly
Baby skunks don't have stinkers yet,
They
right?
don't. They're actually adorable.
They
But
are cute.
I've always loved animals, always had a great affinity for just drawn to animals. And I knew I always wanted to do something for them. But, like what? I'm an adult. I've got to do all these other things. How does that fit in? Well, one day my friend Kelly called me and she's like, hey, I have a kitten here that's going to need some bottle feeding. It was crazy hot outside, and there was a realtor friend, actually of hers, that had sold a property, and there was a cat on the property that essentially came with it. So she had been a always outside cat, a barn cat, and she had a litter of kittens, and it was like 110 degrees. They were trying to help find them and remove them because the barn was going to be demolished as a part of the new owner building their home and what they wanted on the land. And we couldn't find the kittens. So she called me out to take care of this one little kitten. And at the time, it was during the pandemic. So everybody was nervous about what was COVID, how was it impacting so many of the local shelters and rescues had shut their intake. So we couldn't find anybody to help us financially care for this mom and kitten once we, found them. So I looked at Kelly and I was like, why don't we do her own rescue? And she was like, no. I wish I would have counted how many times she told me no. She's like, no. And I said, I can do all the things. She's like, it's really hard, Samara. Like, I know you think you can do all these things, but it's really, really hard. And I tend to jump all in. And I just said, I can do it. I have a degree in business. I've worked, corporately. I've helped build big businesses. Like I can do it.
How hard can it be, right?
How hard can it
kitties.
be?
Right.
We'll make a bit. We don't have to do all the things. We won't make it big. And she's like, no. Her and I have always been one of the things that we're connected by is huge Friends fans. Like she used to have her own
Friends,
podcast.
the TV show.
The TV show Friends. Yes, yes. And so she would always, have people on and she knows all this trivia about it and stuff. So anyway, I was like, ooh, we can call it Smelly Cat Rescue. And that, my friends, was right when I hooked her. And she was like, okay. She tells the story that I had a logo designed by the end of the night before she officially said yes. And
which is probably true, knowing you. Just, I'm inclined to side with her on that one.
yeah, I think I had a Facebook group already going and a website and all the things. But she has been an amazing, amazing support for the rescue. And together, her and I make a really good team. And it's actually, developed into something bigger. Now we've got a great group supporting us. All of us are volunteers. We all have full-time gigs, some of us a couple. But, we do it for the love of the kitties.
That's crazy. Yeah, and 600, that's a lot. 600 cats in 3 years, you said? That's 200. That's like a cat a day, almost.
Yeah. And in reality,
Guess it's it's 2 cats every 3 days, right? Sorry.
I'm not doing
rabbit
math.
hole. 2 cats
It's
every 3 days.
just a lot of cats.
That's a lot of cats.
It is. It's amazing.
It is.
It is a lot. And I had not been in rescue before. Of course I just jumped in. But Kelly had a lot of experience in rescue or has a lot of experience. And so, she'd always keep me on the rails, so to speak, on what my expectations were, because it's a hard industry. Like it's, emotionally, there's a lot in it. People that foster. So we're a foster-based rescue. So we don't have a facility. I say I run everything. I run the rescue on my phone and in between deals all the time. But we have a group of volunteers that are phenomenal. So we have them in St. Louis County, Jefferson County, St. Charles County, where they take in these cats that we rescue and they care for them at home and help us get them adopted. So
that's amazing. So the cats that you're rescuing are actually going into homes when you have them, right? And not a facility, if you will.
Yeah, it's, I've learned a ton about cats.
What's the most interesting fact that you learned about cats over the course of this? Like, because I have 2 cats at home, and I think I know everything. Let's be real, but I think I know
Not
a
just
lot
about cats. Sorry. I tried to contain that comment, but I couldn't.
But
I was going to say, we're well aware, Jeff.
yes, what is the most interesting thing you've learned about a cat? Like, I really want to know whether I already know it or not, if I'm being real.
Largely, their personalities are based on their fur color.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Are black cats the smartest?
Actually,
I've had 2 black cats, and they're very smart.
I wouldn't say they're the smartest. I would say that they usually, they're a little bit more aloof. They're not as emotional, but they're fun. Depends. Females are way not as nice. Males are more affectionate once they're neutered.
Moody.
Shall I say?
Moody's the word she was looking for.
Yeah, moody.
Females are moody.
Females are moody. Most of it is because
Both of my cats are females, but one of them is not. She's black.
Cats are scary.
Not the one. She's a big fat oaf. She just lays around all the time and does nothing. The other one is a ragged whore.
Oh my gosh.
She's so mean.
We're gonna cut that out.
She's gray. I can bleep it. She's gray and striped. So, like, is that normal for gray and striped cats?
I mean, it's hard to say. I can say in general, orange cats typically are social butterflies. They like affection. They're aloof. They usually get made fun of because everybody says they're not so smart, but they're just warm and fuzzy. And usually orange cats are male. I think it's like 70%. Now a tortoiseshell cat, they mostly are black and they have like orange. They're usually female and they have a tortitude. So they always usually have an attitude about them.
Is that what yours is?
No.
But just like people, I think to answer your question about what's so interesting about cats is I had always compared dogs and cats. Like they're pets,
What's the age-old question? You dark person or you cat person?
But comparing them is you're in a no-win situation because they are totally different. Cats are more like people. Each cat is complex. It has a personality, and it also how its environment is affects how it behaves, and it takes them a long time to overcome it. So I have a cat in my house right now. One of my foster fails, as I say, he joined us. It took him a whole year before I really even started seeing his personality come out because of just being displaced and all the trauma. So I just have to approach them differently. But the other thing I learned was
Probably.
Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say that's probably why I like dogs better. I really don't like people with personalities. I just want you to do what I tell you to do.
Yeah, and that is not a
and
cat.
That's a dog, for sure.
This episode is not going to bode well for Chad.
It's
Good thing we
real.
don't have a fan base yet. We're going to get a lot of calls about that.
God.
Okay.
I understand that people aren't going to do what I tell them to do just because I told them to do it. I'm an adult.
Cats are
I'm
complicated.
just telling you what I want in life.
Yeah.
Cats are complicated. Like ultimately, it's not a quick thing. You got to build a relationship with them. Like if, you meet a cat and they don't want anything to do with you, it takes them a couple times before they really bond with you. So I approached animals the way I do most things. I just jump in and I'm like,
Right.
you can't do that with them. You can do that with dogs, but not
So
cats.
you started a cat rescue because that was the need in front of you. It
Correct.
could have been a skunk rescue or a
I
dog
was
rescue.
I was looking.
Skunk rescue?
I was thinking about wildlife because I was trying. Honestly, I was trying to find where the greater need was. I know I want to do something with animals. What's the need? And everything I'd ever heard about cats was bad. It was, so I knew that they were the underdog, so to speak, right? There's not. I mean, for lack of a better word, there is only there's one more thing. So politics. You don't talk about politics because you can divide a room. You don't talk about religion because you can divide a room. You don't talk about cats and dogs because you can divide a room. And once I really saw how much that happened and how much people didn't know about them, I thought, you know what, that's really where I can go. I can learn about them. I can learn how our community can help them and really be another resource because there's not a lot of soul cat rescues out there.
That's amazing.
What you do is great. I mean, it's amazing.
Well,
Inspiring.
there's that many. That number just astonishes me. That many homeless cats to be rescued.
Did you know, though, that we also have the Friends connection? Did you know that? That's probably why you're like our people.
Oh.
We quoted on the Daily. Our first office was decorated all in Friends.
She wouldn't let me put them back up here. She's rude.
We needed to move on. We do have the picture frame and the couple signs.
We do.
We have
are
the same
fans of
friends. Yeah.
But
It's kind of like cats and dogs. So you either are a Friends
Yes.
fan or you think that it's ridiculous that we quote it.
It's interesting to me when people contact us and they don't know that it's a Friends reference.
And then your name makes no sense.
Well, it kind of still works.
still does,
Because I'll be honest, when we help a cat that's been, they stink. They're smelly.
I'm sure you be outside and not take a shower for like 16 months and see what
Cats
you smell
don't
like.
shower. They lick themselves.
They do.
Anyways,
actually.
okay. So Samara runs a cat rescue called Smelly Cat Rescue, and we love that. But you're not just a cat lady.
Oh, no.
Does it
no.
bother you when people call you a cat lady? Do you get called that frequently?
I own it now.
Do you?
Like I own in the
Yeah.
beginning, it was
cat
tough because I, didn't want. I was afraid. What were the dog lovers gonna think of me?
All right. It's true. Anyways, you own a cat, so you're a cat lady, which we love.
Yeah.
We love that about you. I like cats. Annie likes cats. And then also, you're a real estate agent.
I am.
And you were working full-time, corporate America. When you first got your license, what year was that?
2021.
Okay, 2021. And then at the end of last year, so you're going on just about a year, right?
Full time.
In
Yeah.
my time, you quit your job.
I did.
Your 9 to 5, and you
J-O-B.
went full time. The J-O-B, the capital J-O-B, and you went full time as a real estate agent.
I did.
How's that going for you?
It's going good. Like I think I'm uncomfortable most of the time, which I know is meaning I'm in the right place. When I'm challenging myself and I'm growing and learning, I have loved really being a part of something that is so significant to people. I bought my first house when I was 22, and I didn't have a realtor in that process, and it was very, very hard for me. And it took something that should have been like this amazing moment and tarnished it. And so for me, I love being a part of something amazing. It's not going to be perfect, but I can help guide someone through something that's amazing. Being able to be a homeowner is not something that everybody gets to accomplish. They should,
All right.
but being a part of that process for me is super fulfilling.
Yeah, you're right, they should.
Yes.
Homeowner, we were
The
just talking
American
about
dream.
that on the last podcast. It's astonishing how many people don't own homes in the
Yes.
country. But anyways, so
So you find homes for cats and you find homes for people.
Yeah, clients. Yeah, cats
Awesome.
and clients.
oh my God, they're both C's. I love alliteration.
Yeah. And
cute.
if somebody, when I help them, I can give them a cat. I would be happy.
Housewarming
to,
gift?
A housewarming gift. I'm trying to work on that.
Every client gets a cat.
So, oh no, that's an Oprah thing. And you get a cat.
And you get a cat.
And you get a cat.
What's
That's funny.
What's the hardest thing from shifting from a part-time agent to a full-time agent?
Well,
And we'll just real quick, I want to equate that. You consider yourself new, right?
Yes.
Because even
Yeah.
though you've been licensed for 3 years, you didn't really work at it full time.
Right.
For those 2 years, you had a 40-hour and 50-hour a week
Yeah.
corporate job. And
Yes.
working with C-suite.
Upward
so,
50.
Yeah. So you really went full time. So you consider yourself a little bit of a newer agent.
I do.
So I think, whatever this is would apply to new agents as well.
Yeah, I think when I was part-time, there was always a little bit of a stigma, right? Like she's part-time and she doesn't
Yeah.
she isn't out here really doing the work. And I never understood that. And I was like, what do you mean? We're all doing the same thing. My first year as a real estate agent was actually quite successful. My first 2 years are wonderful, but it was a different environment, a different market. And when I went full time, I didn't realize how hard you have to work at really getting connected and reaching out to clients and all the things that are required to build a business. This is just like building any business. So I was a little naive to the fact that I wasn't going to come out guns blazing, my first year and going to sell, full time. I was going to sell 30 houses.
Yeah,
and all
because in
the
21,
things.
when you started, if you just had a license, you could find clients.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
everybody
Yeah.
was buying the house.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Yep. And, my husband was in the business then. So really one of the reasons that I got my license then was to support him so that I could help do that. And I've always had multiple jobs, which I know that's not surprising to you guys.
It's not surprising. Or start a rescue or whatever.
But I underestimated how much time I needed to put into work on my business. And the things that in the corporate world were kind of nice to have in my mind are critical. to building a business in real estate.
Elaborate on that. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you have to really market yourself in a different way. It's just because you've connected with them once and they know that you're a real estate agent doesn't necessarily mean that they understand your value or what you can do for them. And people go on about their business. If you don't stay in connection with them, if you don't keep coming back and seeing how you can add more value to the relationship in between when they're ready to purchase, like that's a missed opportunity. And for me, I had to really step back and look at it it's about me just connecting with people that are like-minded, that I like to be around, and making sure that I'm just constantly serving them. At the end of the day, it is, and I love that. One of the reasons that I love working in real estate is because it's about people. And I wanted to be back where it is about people. And I lost touch with the fact that that's what it's about, because you have to keep those relationships going even when you have current clients that you're helping. And so the multifaceted parts of it was something new for me. And so I'm a giver, shocker. I like to give my time and I like to help people a lot. And what I've learned in this past year is that I have to help myself first. And that means that's my business. And so when I could do it before, I was still getting the paycheck regardless. I was putting my time in during these hours and I'm getting paid.
Right.
You can't do that in real estate.
Regardless of whether you're working or not.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'd heard that. I'm not going to say somebody that told me that, but maybe Chad said something once or twice.
Difference when you're coming from, I also came from corporate America.
Yeah.
To your point, whatever you're doing, you're still getting that paycheck. And it is a lot different when you become an entrepreneur. And it's not the same mindset as if you were going to go open a restaurant.
Right.
That you had to go to every day and physically unlock the door.
Right.
And a lot of realtors make that mistake because they think, oh my God, I'm going to be a realtor so I can just work when I want to.
Yes.
And what happens is there's so much that has to go into it before you ever get a client. And people miss that part. They just want to have a client.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Being a realtor is more than showing houses.
It is so much more. And it's about being disciplined and knowing yourself and knowing what your goals are. Like,
And let's be honest, anybody can get a real estate license.
Yes.
But to actually have value and, to provide that to people where they seek you out, that takes work.
It does. It takes a lot of work. And I think for me, what's so important is that I'm as authentic as I can be with things. And so I want to make sure that in addition to just doing whatever, that I'm bringing that value. And so connecting with people in an authentic way and having those relationships, it takes a lot of time and energy, and it takes a lot of time to get that going. And so nothing's instant.
Yeah. And there is no official playbook.
No.
There isn't a step 1, step 2, get a client. Step 3, step 4, have another client. It doesn't work that way either. And
And I wanted that. I asked for that. I was like, Chad, tell me the
For the
steps.
I don't have a client. What am I doing wrong?
She kept saying, I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody needs to tell me what to do. And I'm like, you need to go talk to people. And that, and it is a logical way of explaining that, obviously. But, that's the business.
It is. And, I don't know why I'm surprised by it, but it's just a different skill set for me, which is, it's good. With Smelly Cat, I'm out in the community. I'm connecting with people and, making great relationships. And so this is just another piece that I get to add to that. It's the piece.
Yeah.
I say that I'm selling houses now so that I can fulfill my rescue addiction is kind of the thing. Without being a real estate agent, I wouldn't be able to run the rescue.
Right. So what would you say to yourself today if
you could go back?
Tell yourself, if you could tell yourself a year ago, but using the knowledge you have now, what would you say to yourself?
I would create a plan. I'd get a coach. I'd get a coach, an experienced coach, but somebody that is really working their business, that can help you determine what your day, what your week looks like, and then be disciplined to do it. Even though I think the most that I've learned, I like instant gratification. In this business,
We all do.
in this business,
Why do you think we
Some
go to
more
the
than
casino,
others.
sister? It's a great feeling when them lights and bells
I
go.
know, the addiction of shopping and the casino. Totally get it.
yes, but the work that you're doing on day one, you're not going to see the results
No.
of that maybe until the end of the year, maybe till next year. And no matter what those crazy voices in your head are saying, don't tell me you don't have them, because I know everybody does.
Oh, I got lots of them.
Chats don't stay quiet.
Sometimes they don't stay in my head.
That'll be for a different podcast, right?
Right.
But stick with it. Stay consistent. Like, just
If you do the things.
Do the
That's right.
things.
If
That
you
was creepy. Oh my god.
if you do the what's the movie? If you build it, they will come.
I think that's Field of Dreams.
That's it.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams. But it's so true.
It's a baseball movie.
It is. But if you do it, if you do those things and you plant the seeds and you have to consistently do the things, you can be successful in this business.
Yeah. Well,
No, and I really think anybody can be successful in this business because there is so many different people out there and it's relationship based. So, you know, I know we poke fun at each other all the time because Annie's too nice and you're this and I'm an asshole or I'm mean or whatever, but I'm not mean. I'm just
I'm too nice.
analytical.
I want to know what
and
I am. You held back there.
I didn't hold anything back at all.
Okay.
But
So I'm nothing.
no, I'm just saying that.
Just joking.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What is,
I like to make
what
him
is-
uncomfortable every once in a while.
Let's see. Samara is. Does it have to be two? You're very accommodating.
Accommodating is a good word for you.
So
too.
it's
I like to
very,
make-
it's very
Yeah.
easy for people to pull you away from the things that you should be doing for your business, and then because you don't have a boss above you saying
Yes.
no, you're like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I
Yes.
got plenty
Anyways,
of time.
my point in saying
We're going down a rabbit hole.
is that there's so many people buying houses that you will be able to find a client who wants you to tell you what they think exactly without mincing words, and you will be able to find a client that has fragile feelings and wants you to sugarcoat everything, and
Yeah.
you will be able to find a client that needs you to drop everything every second they want you to and go to where they're at. Like, those clients all exist, and that's why anybody can be a realtor. Like, it's not one particular type of person that makes the
I'm
best
gonna-
realtor.
I'm going to jump in and say everybody can't be a realtor because there is more on the other side of that, but people can find a client.
I mean, it's not easy. Like the
Oh, yeah.
the real
I mean,
is
you
that
have
it's
to
not
put in
easy.
the
This is just,
work.
we're
Yeah.
talking about the finding the client part.
Oh yeah.
There's clients out there for anybody. Anybody can find a client. It's whether they choose to or not is a whole another story. But neither here nor there, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's important to know who you want. It's just as important for me to know the type of client I want to work with, right? So not
To know,
everyone.
and you start with knowing who you are.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
I know that I'm direct. If you're somebody that gets your feelings hurt very easily, I'm probably not your guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Is what it is.
I have to say that sometimes, like, okay, so we do our deals together, and Chad takes them from contract to close, and sometimes I have to say, okay, this client is going to need everything explained to them, detail by detail, or this client's going to want you just to text them and move on. But yeah,
Yeah. So, anyways, this is good advice for yourself a year ago. I like it. Follow it.
Thanks for not saying I told you.
what would
so.
you tell yourself?
Huh? You're gonna be a frigging rock star. Do it. Confidence is not my problem.
If you could give,
You know.
if you could give Samara advice, different advice than you gave her a year ago, what would it be?
I don't know that I would change my advice.
His advice was pretty spot on. I think you know, part of where I was I needed to experience it.
You did.
Because that's who I am.
Right.
You know, you can tell me all these things, but it isn't going to impact me until I feel it.
Luckily, Chad's not one of those people who says that he was right, so you don't have to deal with that.
No, I would never say that. And I don't really actually care about being right, if I'm being honest with you. It's just it's a funny thing that everybody says or whatever all the time. I mean, I like to be right, but who doesn't? I'm not going to be like, I don't care to be right enough that it would overshadow your success.
Okay, there we go. That's fair.
There's
fair.
different, right? Like, I could be right about a billion different things and say it all the time, but I would never say it to people that, like, I want
It's okay.
you.
I think what he's saying is he'd get tired of saying, I told you so.
I think I just touched
Yeah,
it.
I'm not an I told you so person. Like, that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be right. There's no doubt about that. But I'm not unless it's something stupid like what a word means.
So do you like to help people see their truths? Like, I think for me, like, you know, you taught me a word, racket, right? Like, you don't want to do the hard work, so you go and get distracted. It's just like picking things. Like, I don't like accounting, and so taxes for me are no fun. And so I will literally do anything else than to focus on that part of my business. And so, you know, somebody's gonna come looking for me if I don't do that.
Well, no, I think if we didn't enjoy empowering people, and that's what I would call that, then we wouldn't own a real estate brokerage. Like, that doesn't, you know, that's our job. That's our business, right? Is empowering you guys to sell houses. So definitely enjoy that. But.
And it's an interesting thing to do because you have to watch people also, and you do have to let them fail sometimes so that they can.
It's hard.
So because you want to just say nope, don't do that. Like pay your taxes.
Yes. Well, and then even from on the client side of things, like knowing as a real estate agent, I think I had this idea that I could make everything good. And you absolutely can't. Like, you have to accept that something is going to go wrong, but you're going to help this person through those and hopefully avoid, you know, issues by the knowledge that you bring into it.
And let them have their journey.
Correct.
Because sometimes you want to say, this is it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Right.
All right. We've reached that time.
We have. That was so fast.
You want to ask her my favorite question, Samara?
What is our inspirational quote of the day?
You got your inspirational quote ready?
Oh, I do.
Okay, go.
I would never come unprepared twice.
Twice in a row. She learned her lessons.
That was a round of applause for you this
thank
week.
you.
You're welcome.
Don't follow your dreams. Chase them.
Ooh.
What's yours?
Good one. So I'm going to not say that it's an inspirational quote except for random airline stewardess, but it was something she said just a minute ago that made me think of...
Were you on a plane?
No, that's what the funny part. But my inspirational quote is from the heart this week.
What does this have to do with an airline stewardess?
Remember, when the doors fly open, put your own safety mask on first.
Oh, okay. Because...
You can absolutely not help anybody else if you can't help yourself first. So,
Well, yes, I agree. I do think you can help other people, but you will not be happy about
oxygen.
it. Correct. You will die. You won't be happy because you'll be dead.
you'll be dead. Sorry, Charlie, but you're wrong.
You're right. No rationalizing the way out of that.
Do you have an inspirational quote you want to share with us? Put you on the spot. I didn't prep you for this, so if you don't have one, it's totes fine. Totes my goats, I was going to say.
Love quotes, and I'm drawing a blank, but I would say, if you care about everything, then you care about nothing. Is that how it goes? Is that what that expression is?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like caring. If you care, you have to pick where you put those. I almost said fucks. I'm sorry.
Hey, you can say it. We don't care. There's no HR department here.
That's
You're
right.
not.
You're right.
Not.
Oh my God. Where's it coming?
And we clearly are not going to get one.
Yeah. Woohoo! Well, in that case, careful where you put your fucks because
I know, right?
yeah.
Right.
They're going to come back to bite you. How's your rehab going?
My rehab.
Yeah, in your house. Your
Oh, dear
renovation.
Lord. I was like, I'm not in rehab, you freak. I've been 21 days without going to the casino.
Called 1-800-BETS off, finally.
Right now, it's a hot mess. Everything that's on my main floor is in my garage, and I don't have floors.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
Did they take the walls down yet?
Not yet.
I don't want to see it. My
My contractor has the flu.
fucking contractors.
And he can't work while he has the flu?
I know, right?
I don't want him to. I want him to get better.
See, she's too nice. Put a mask on. I don't care. I don't have a freaking floor right now.
You definitely have to wear shoes if you're currently coming to my house.
Okay.
Don't make the mistake I made.
Ooh.
That does not sound like a fun story at all.
But thanks for asking about my rehab.
Oh, thanks for coming to the podcast today, Samara.
Thanks for having me, I
Appreciate
think.
it. Real quick, how can... She said, I think. How can somebody that might be listening get a hold of the rescue if they have a cat that's outside or just want to make a donation?
Yeah, we have a website, smellycatrescue.org. You can find information there about adopting a cat or a kitten, about donating, and also there's a place that if you need to reach out to us, you can.
How about fostering?
Yes, we need all the fosters. If you have an extra room, a bathroom, a place, you want to open your heart to a cat, you don't just help save that cat, but you save another as well, because it allows us to be able to rescue additional.
One more. Cool.
But the website's the way to go.
Smellycatrescue.org,
Should we
right?
sing it?
I'm going to say it one more time so there's nobody talking over me when I say it.
I'm going to probably keep talking now.
Smelly.
And smelly cat. Okay, I won't.
No, in all seriousness, smellycatrescue.org. Thank you so much for coming this
Thanks
week
for
and being a
having
part
me.
of the contest.
She's never coming back.
Join us next week where Annie and Chad talk about real shit loosely related to the real estate industry.